Hi everyone, this is Mr. Neil Wrighter, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. This is of a patient who attended with an ear infection in both of his ears, and they are a hearing aid wearer, and they noticed over the last few days they weren't hearing so well, and they arranged to visit me at the clinic. And we're just starting off in the patient's left ear. So this condition is called otitis externa. And otitis externa essentially means an ear infection of the outer ear. So the term otitis stands for the entire piece of skin. And I was quite pleased. I thought we removed it in its entirety. But when I look back in, you can see you've still got another layer there. So I still want to try and remove that if at all possible. So again, I'm going back in and I'm just trying to find an area of this dead skin, and you can see just at the center there's that edge of the dead skin. You can see how it's just folded upon itself. So the skin's dying off the eardrum. Instead of coming away from the eardrum completely and attaching itself to the ear canal and then eventually coming out of the ear, it's just folding upon itself, almost like if you have a lasagna sheet that's softened and you lay it and you fold it upon itself again. Or if you're icing a cake and you're kind of making folds on top of it, on top of the previous layer, that's how it's going on with the skin here. So I managed to remove that off the eardrum. You can see they've got a brand new eardrum now. It's completely visible. Crusted this skin. And it's also matted itself against the hairs. And you can just see, just near the entrance at the floor of the ear canal, there's a little basin here. So I just want to, I think I'm standing up at this point and I'm just angling the endoscope downwards into this pit area, because you have some skin forming here. And I'm just gliding the fine end over. Obviously we don't want to graze the ear canal, so we're going to get as much out as we can without causing any discomfort and pain to the patient. And I think we're more or less about there. So a final look at the eardrum, which we couldn't see before. So this is the patient's right ear. Once more, they've got otitis externa, a lot of dead skin. You can see this layer of skin here on the right hand side of the ear canal, the anterior canal wall. So this is a fresher layer of skin that's died and shedded, but it's failed to migrate out of the ear. And eventually this layer will get compressed deeper and deeper into the core of the plug as you have more and more skin dying and shedding on the canal wall. So it's very sticky and wet on this side. Not much space to work with because it's a lot of edema and swelling. And it's just blocked the tube there. And once more, I want to avoid using any drops if at all possible. Whenever the ear is infected like this, I prefer to avoid drops wherever possible. On the left side, we really had little option with the fine. So just at the front part of the ear, and on the bony part, so this is the sensitive part, we're going to be really careful. We don't want to come in contact with that part of the ear canal, just hovering over, because that will be uncomfortable for the patient. And you can see we're just gliding this fine end over the top, slowly and away from the bone itself, just lifting it, always working away from the canal so we're not making direct contact and minimising the risk of causing trauma. And here, just right to left, just little fine motor movements. Just going back to the roof here, you got some more dead skin. So I'd say the right is a lot more inflamed and swollen than the left, but there was no dead skin on the patient's right eardrum, and upon attending they did advise that they felt the left ear was the worst of the two. And even after I moved the majority of the wax and dead skin from the left ear, with those 2 layers of dead skin on the eardrum, they did feel that it was still slightly blocked their left ear. But upon removing those 2 layers of skin, they could hear significantly better now. We're just going to be really careful because we're really close to the eardrum. We don't want to perforate it. So I've got as much skin out as I feel I can, comfortably as possible in that region. So just coming away on the posterior canal wall, and I'm just gliding over this. That was more on the cartilaginous portion, so we can put a bit of pressure there. It's not going to be uncomfortable for the patient. And we're back now near the entrance, and again,